In this video, we are going to study how to solve a quadratic equation by factoring. So the first example is chosen to explain the idea behind the factoring method. So we have two factors. So we have this so-called zero product property. If two expressions are multiplied to produce 0, then either one of the factors have to be 0. Either a equals the first factor equals 0, or b the second factor equals 0. If neither of them is 0, then what happens? If both are non-zero numbers, for example, if we have 2 and say 5, 2 times 5 is not 0. Or for example, 3 times negative 4, this is not 0. The only way to get a 0 is when either the first number is 0 or the second number is 0. So if you apply this zero product property to this problem, then we can say that the first factor equals 0. So either x equals 0 or x minus 2 equals 0. So if x equals 0, see, left-hand side is 0 times 0 minus 2, which is 0 times negative 2, which is 0. And that is the right-hand side. So this is a solution. And if x minus 2 equals 0, well, what is x? 2 minus 2 equals 0, right? So x equals 2. And the left-hand side, if x equals 2, then the left-hand side is 2 times 2 minus 2, which is 2 times 0, and that's 0, the same as the right-hand side. So this is another solution. So we have these two solutions. Now you have to think about this. If x is neither 0 nor 2, you're never going to get 0 for x. You're never going to get 0 for x minus 2. So if you multiply two non-zero numbers, you're never going to get 0. So there are no other solutions. These two are only solutions of this equation. So we're going to use the same idea for this example. To use the same idea, we have to turn the equation into the same form. A factored polynomial on the left-hand side and 0 on the right-hand side. So to put 0 on the right-hand side, what you're going to do is to subtract every term of the right-hand side from both sides of the equation. So subtract 2x and subtract 6. The right-hand side is 0. And the left-hand side is x squared, and x minus 2x is minus x, and we have minus 6. Now we're going to factor the left-hand side. So you see 6 is 2 times 3, and negative 6 is either negative 2 times 3 or 2 times negative 3. So which one do we want to choose? Because the sum of the two numbers must be negative 1 here. Minus x is negative 1 times x. And we want 2 times negative 3, because 2 plus negative 3 equals negative 1. So then this polynomial is x plus 2 times x minus 3. So that equals 0. So now we have two factors multiplied equals 0. You can say that either x plus 2 equals 0 or x minus 3 equals 0. The value of x making x plus 2 0 is negative 2, because negative 2 plus 2 equals 0. Or you could just subtract 2 from both sides of this equation and say that x equals negative 2. And if x minus 3 equals 0, then x equals 3. So we've got two solutions. Okay, here now we have this third example. Sometimes people make this mistake. They just try to factor the left-hand side. So if you look at the left-hand side, you see x is a common factor. So they try to factor x out, and that is equal to -1. But this is a mistake because the number on the right-hand side, this is not 0. We want a factored form of a polynomial on the left-hand side and 0 on the right-hand side. We need 0, okay? So this is a wrong approach. So what is the correct approach? You have to remove everything from the right-hand side. So if we have this equation, the first thing to do is to add 1 to both sides of the equation and get a polynomial on the left-hand side and 0 on the right-hand side. Now let's factor the left-hand side. 1 is 1 times 1, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is factored into x plus 1 times x plus 1. And that equals 0. So now either factor has to be 0. So either x plus 1 equals 0 or x plus 1 equals 0. But they are the same thing, so we just have x plus 1 equals 0. So that gives us the solution x equals -1.